DC has had its share of cinematic hits and misses.
Cool party.
We know they have brilliant comic book storylines to explore, but now that comic book movies are running rampant, it's time for DC to step up to the plate. After Wonder Woman left some big shoes to fill, Warner Brothers and DC have a few more projects up their sleeve that are bound to change everything. Before we get started, make sure you click that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest videos.
This is my mission now. Forever.
Wonder Woman sequel. DC's biggest female superhero and perhaps one of the most iconic superheroes ever finally hit theaters in 2017. She was one of the best things about Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So naturally, audiences and fans alike rejoiced at finally getting the superhero DC deserved. We can all agree that Wonder Woman and director Patty Jenkins set the bar high for the next upcoming DC films, don't you think?
I'm both frightened and aroused.
Naturally, there's a sequel in the works, and it was given an official announcement at Comic-Con in San Diego with a release date of December 13th, 2019. Although there hasn't been confirmation if Jenkins will be returning to direct the second film, she has discussed where she would like to take the story. She wants it set in America this time around, but also making the second film something totally different. We'll be seeing the Wonder Woman we know and love, a grand and full-blown Wonder Woman in the world now. We can't wait to see what adventure Diana Prince goes on in the sequel. For now, we'll be able to see her in the upcoming Justice League, but we are pumped to see her again in her next solo film. Diana, yes.
Help me find the others like you.
Perhaps they don't want to be found.
They will. And they'll fight.
Justice League. Buckle your seatbelts because here it is, everyone. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. DC is finally making their Justice League film, and we couldn't be more excited. Warner Brothers and DC Comics have been working hard for years to try and make this work. A few years ago, it almost happened. They had an ensemble ready to go with George Miller directing, but alas, delays prevented it. But hey, better late than never, right? Zack Snyder was originally set to direct the film this time around, and he was in charge through primary photography, but eventually had to step down due to a family tragedy. Luckily, Joss Whedon stepped up to the plate and took the reins and helped finish up the film. From the trailers, it looks like Wonder Woman and Batman putting together the team is the focus, along with a lot of humor. The team includes Batman and Wonder Woman, as well as Cyborg, The Flash, and Aquaman. We can't wait to see all these heroes in this epic film. Who are you most excited to see on screen? We're just gonna go ahead and say everyone. Aquaman. When it comes to DC superheroes, they're all pretty epic, wouldn't you say? However, Aquaman has often been the object of jokes, but the new Aquaman film starring Jason Momoa looks everything but mockable. It looks like it's finally time to bring some justice to the man who controls the seas. Throwing the hulking Jason Momoa in the title role is a great way to make the character a lot more serious. No one will dare mock Khal Drogo, right? Just look at how awesome he looks as Aquaman. The film will include Black Manta as its main villain. We'll also get to see the underwater world of Atlantis. And with director James Wan at the lead, we know that the action sequences will definitely be on point. Wan is no stranger to franchises, as he was involved in Saw, Insidious, The Conjuring, and even directed Furious 7. We think Wan is going to bring some much-needed epicness to the big screen. Although Wan has admitted that shooting underwater has been challenging in terms of planning how clothing moves, what CG will be used with their hair, how they're floating, and many other things, it hasn't stopped him from remaining optimistic.
Since time immemorial, the Green Lantern Corps has served as the keepers of peace, order, and justice throughout the universe. To be chosen to join its ranks is the highest of honors and the greatest of responsibilities.
Green Lantern Corps. Sometimes we think reboots and remakes ruin the magic of the original film. Sometimes they're just totally unnecessary. But there are times when they need to happen. Case in point, Green Lantern Corps. Following the less than critically acclaimed Green Lantern film back in 2011, DC and Warner Brothers have decided to give it another go. We think it's worth a shot, right? Everyone deserves a second chance after all.
I know, right?
Although no casting has yet been announced, the studio is working with a the script from David Goyer and Justin Rhodes. We know that this time around they're telling the story of the intergalactic peacekeeping force as a team movie instead of focusing on just one character. It will also be focusing mainly on two of the most popular Lanterns, Hal Jordan and Jon Stewart. We aren't sure exactly when the Green Lantern flick will be released, but we did notice him in the new DC Comics intro that played before Wonder Woman in theaters. Although we are a bit surprised Green Lantern isn't included in the Justice League lineup, we do think he will be playing a crucial role in the DCEU moving forward. What do you think? Joker origin story. While many of us love Batman and all of the other heroes in this world, we can't help but love a good villain also. The Joker serves as Batman's foil and arch nemesis, and he's become just as iconic as the Caped Crusader himself. Throughout cinematic history, we've seen several iterations of the Clown Prince of Crime. As one of DC's most popular characters, we've always been curious about his origins. Although we get to see what happens to him to make him the Joker, we haven't really seen an in-depth portrait of the Joker alone. Well, the time is now. There's plans of giving the character his own solo movie. We know what you're thinking. Finally! Warner Brothers has brought on The Hangover's Todd Phillips to co-write and direct the film. Although the Joker is played by Jared Leto in Suicide Squad, this film would feature another actor as it's set in Gotham City in the 1980s. This is also set to be a part of projects that could stand apart from the big tentpole films that are tied to each other. Totally fine by us. We just want to see a good solo Joker film. What do you think? The Batman. Easily the most recognizable and profitable character of the DC Universe has got to be the Caped Crusader himself, Batman. Christopher Nolan's trilogy was a smash hit, but Christian Bale's days as the greatest detective are long gone. So we have a new Batman, played by Ben Affleck, who made his debut in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. So if Batman has such a hardcore fan base, why not give him another solo movie? Warner Brothers seems to think it's a good idea. However, there have been a few snags along the road. Ben Affleck was originally set to direct the film based off of a script that he co-wrote, but now Matt Reeves has stepped up into the director's chair, and there have been a few script rewrites, including making Deathstroke the main villain, who would be played by Joe Manganiello. It's also been rumored that Ben Affleck might be stepping away from the character altogether, so it's unclear as to when exactly we'll be seeing the Batman solo film. Chances are, however, it will make a big splash. We think Ben Affleck deserves a chance to reprise his role as Batman in a solo film, don't you? Justice League 2. Marvel has become a cinematic powerhouse, taking over Hollywood and making comic books the center of the universe. Now that comic book movies are ripe for the picking, everyone wants in on the franchise action. A lot of it is thanks to Marvel's Avengers films. Who doesn't love a good team-up? So of course, Justice League is being looked at with the same possibilities. And with the Justice League film coming up, DC hopes to make a huge impact. How can they not? Look at all these epic heroes on screen. We're hoping that Supes makes an appearance. And naturally, after a huge production like this team-up film, there are plans for a sequel. Justice League 2 was originally set for 2019, but it wasn't mentioned in the Comic-Con lineup. So it's unclear when the Justice League sequel will be released. In the meantime, however, there are plenty of solo films and sequels to be made. We're still pumped and hoping this sequel happens.
And you are?
Batgirl.
That's not awfully PC. What about Bat Person or Bat Woman?
Batgirl. Since we all know how popular and beloved Batman and pretty much the whole Bat family is, it makes a lot of sense to bring out another member of the family, Batgirl. Again, we are also seriously lacking some badass female heroes and protagonists. Thankfully, Wonder Woman seems to be changing that. DC gave us the hero we deserved. Now they're finally giving Barbara Gordon her much-anticipated moment in the spotlight. Batgirl is one of the most popular superheroes around, and she hasn't had her own movie yet. But don't worry, that's all gonna change. So who will be in charge of bringing one of our favorite women to life? Well, that would be Joss Whedon. He's gonna be directing and writing the film. Whedon has made the jump over from Marvel to DC after he took over for Zack Snyder in Justice League, so we know he knows how to work in the superhero realm. Whedon has also written some awesome stuff and has a history of writing strong female heroes. Case in point, the ladies of Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Firefly, to name a few. So we're pretty confident that Batgirl is going to be one of those movies we totally end up loving.
Let's go home.
Suicide Squad 2. Following the popular Suicide Squad film should definitely be a sequel, right? After all, the only thing better than a team-up movie is one about popular comic book villains. Who doesn't love a good bad guy? The film brought together a group of misfit jailbirds with awesome skills to fight some villains. The idea being that these misfits were expendable, so they're sent on a suicide mission. Despite negative reviews among fans, the baddies were a huge hit for Warner Brothers globally. So Suicide Squad is getting a sequel, of course, but David Ayer, who directed the first film, will not be directing the sequel. Instead, Gavin O'Connor has jumped on board to write the sequel and is also in talks to direct it. It makes sense since he's already worked with the studio directing The Accountant. The film is set to start production in late 2018. Margot Robbie, who plays the iconic Harley Quinn, has stated that she thinks she'll be back in fishnets wielding a baseball bat in 2018. What do you think? Did you like the first film? Are you excited to see the characters from the first film suit back up?
The Gotham City what?
Sirens! You, me, Kate, and Babs!
It'll never fly.
Gotham City Sirens. Ever since the release of Suicide Squad, the number of people cosplaying as Harley Quinn has skyrocketed. And you can bet that every Halloween there's at least one Suicide Squad Harley somewhere in the room. Those pink and blue pigtails are everywhere. So naturally, the creatives want to give her some sort of spin-off. Hey, why not? She's a fan favorite. And with Wonder Woman being such a smash hit, it's further proof that we're dying for more female screen time. We need some more awesome female characters, don't you think? DC definitely has the edge on that right now. Although rumors surfaced that the film would be replaced by a Joker Harley-centered movie, Gotham City Sirens is still underway. The Joker Harley movie wouldn't replace it. Rather, it would help to explain how Harley got her independence and teamed up with the other villainous ladies. Although we aren't sure what order they'll be released in yet, we're excited about the DCEU characters and cinematic world expanding. We would love to see Harley team up with Poison Ivy and Catwoman for some awesome chaos, wouldn't you? It's definitely time to revisit Ivy and Catwoman on screen and see what new takes the directors bring to them.
Time I whipped you into shape.
As long as it's rough.
Well, there you have it, folks. Those are just some of the upcoming DC movies. Which ones are you most excited about? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. And while you're here, don't forget to check out more awesome videos like this one in our playlist. If you like this video, be sure to share it with your friends and give us a big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching.